right, welcome to episode 3 of Squeakin with Squishy. I'm your host, Squishy, and this is my life. This is just what's going on. This episode is just gonna be straight updates. Since last episode, I'm gonna explain what has been happening in my life since the last time I made an episode up until right now, up until today, right? So, I always struggle in the beginning with these because I don't know how to open. I don't know how to start talking to you. But I feel like once I get talking, then I'm a yapper, you know? All right. So, episode 3 was July 29th of 2025. So, last year. That's crazy. That's over a year. But you know what? We're here. We're here. All right. Here, I have a little list. I have a little notepad because I can't actually look at my phone while I'm doing this. You know what I mean? I can't like search through it because I'm making a video. You get it. You get it. All right. So September 13th was TSK. So for those of you who don't know what TSK is, it stands for Team Sun Kissed, like the soda, right? Like the orange soda. And what that is, it's a skydiving festival at Skydive the Ranch that happens every year around like September, August, you know, that area-ish. And it's a week that we get to just come together and have fun and jump and hang out, you know, just do stuff together. So this TSK was no different. It was great. I don't have like a whole big list of stuff, but I had 2 people that I was jumping a lot with, and we were just doing a bunch of fun jumps, and it was great. And I really enjoyed myself, as I always do. I enjoy myself every TSK. Yeah, it's just great. Just what a great time, you know? Okay, so that was September 13th. September 29th. September 21st, Cabaret closed. Cabaret at the Kit Kat Club. This right here, this where this tattoo comes from, it closed. We had a party on Broadway and like 50 some. I forgot the name of it. Anyway, so during that party, we were waiting online. There's like a long line to get in, which is odd for a work event, like a fairly long line. Anyway, so I put my board down, right, and I'm talking to people. I know everybody, right? I'm talking to people. We're having a conversation. Everyone, like, not everyone, but like a couple people throughout the night was like, Raph, don't forget your board, you know? Look, because I have my board down and I'm just walking around because I don't want to like carry it, right? So I'm just like chilling. So we go hang out, we have fun, we talk, we leave, we go to a different bar, stay there for a little bit, and I want to say we go to like a third place. I forget, you know, open bar, not good for memory. Anyway, so we're leaving like the second place. I'm like, wait, my board. Fuck, I left my board outside after like mad people were like, Raph, don't forget your board. I did it anyway. So ran outside to go get it. Like I went back to the first spot and it wasn't there. I asked the people who were working outside, hey, maybe did you clean up? Something like that. Take my board in, like, oh, you know. No, they indeed did not. They didn't. So I lost my board that day. Such is life, you know, whatever. Okay, next one. This is September 29th. This was base jumping. So I did Miles Dasher's camp in Idaho. In what place, Idaho? I don't know. It was the Perrine Bridge. That's where Twin Falls. The Perrine Bridge in Idaho, where Evel Knievel did his stunt where he jumped off the ramp. Boom. I don't think he made it, but he jumped off the ramp. You know, he tried, and that's the important part. So I went base jumping out there. I did a nice base jumping first jump course. Did 14 jumps out there. And I remember before actually doing it, I was at work and I was talking to people about what I was gonna do. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go base jumping October or September. I'm gonna go base jumping. And I remember being like, best case scenario, I go and I don't get injured and I hate it. And I'm just like, I did it. I hate fuck base jumping, and I never want to base jump again. And I'm just good off that. That's like, and like I don't get hurt. You know, I come out unscathed. You know, is it my tongue ring that's making me? Why I can't pronounce that word? It's unscathed. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So I was saying that's like best case scenario, right? And I remember being on like climbing over, and it was a PCA, so it's a pilot chute assist, which someone else holds your pilot chute, the little hacky that you throw out to pull your parachute. Somebody else holds that for you, so you don't have to worry about actually pulling it. You just jump, right? And I remember when I was on that bridge, right, looking down and seeing the floor. Like when you skydive, you're seeing like air and you're seeing clouds and you're seeing like the ground way far away. But like when you base jump, it's just the floor. It's just there, right? Like it's just a constant, you know? Anyway, so I'm standing at the bridge and like, oh, you know, when you're ready. And then I'm like, okay, cool. 3, 2, 1, see ya. And then you jump. And I remember when I jumped, like as soon as my feet it's crazy because, sorry, I go off on tangents. I start explaining stuff that kind of pertain to what I was talking about. So I'm explaining right now. This is one of my tangents that I'm about to go on right now. Hopefully it won't be long, but anyway, that was a tangent about a tangent. Anyway, okay. So you hear in like, I've heard in stories that when people try to, and they jump off a bridge or something along those lines, their regret hits as soon as they leave. Like as soon as they exit, as soon as their feet off, they're like, fuck, I shouldn't have done this. And then they're there, you know, you're just there anyway. So that was kind of how I felt when I jumped. Like, I remember being there like, oh my God, am I gonna do this? Fuck, look at that, this is scary. And then like jumping, and as soon as I jumped off, as soon as my feet exited, I was like, I just killed myself. That's it. This is how I go in a random state somewhere in the mid-America, you know? And it was great. I loved it so much. I did the jump. It's like a fine pattern. I landed, and as soon as I landed, I was like, fuck! I was like, I gotta do this again. Like, so I did it. By the third time, my stoke, like my like happiness, dopamine receptors, everything was like going off. It was like one of the most amazing experiences I've ever experienced in my life. If you are a skydiver, I would recommend doing a first jump course with Miles and Chuck and just experiencing what it's like to do it in a safer environment, you know, not just borrowing a rig from someone, you know, like actually doing the whole course, right? It was great. Idaho was nice. Potatoes are definitely like a thing over there. They really, everything got potatoes. Like, it's not so much like everything is like super potato themed, but like everything has potatoes. There's potatoes in like every dish that I've had. I don't think I had one dish in Idaho that wasn't somehow related to potatoes. So anyway, that was it. It was great. I just had so much fun. I trained at I think Alliance BJJ. Sorry if I said that wrong, but I trained in Idaho. I tried to go to Hensel Gracie in Idaho, but didn't happen because I didn't wake up. Anyway, had some interesting times in Idaho. I hitchhiked. I was like, the thumb with the car. I hitchhiked. And not hitchhiked really, right? Because what I did was I started walking along I was gonna walk like, I think it was like 6 miles, which would have took me some time, right? But I was just gonna do it. So I'm walking, and as I'm walking, somebody offered to take me into town, so I let them, and that was cool. Shout out to them. All right, so I'm gonna keep going on. March 30th, opening night of Dog Day Afternoon on Broadway at the August Wilson Theater, with starring John Bernthal and starring Eben Moss Baccarat. I hope I said his name right. My bad, Evan. So that show was very interesting. That show was. I haven't seen the movie. I should probably see the movie, but the show was good. The show was very charged. It was very fun. I think more than anything, the most notable thing about Dog Day Afternoon, in my opinion, besides the obviously like star like John Bernthal and Evan being there, was how friendly, how like absolutely friendly the cast was. I worked on Broadway for a long time, and in my experience working on Broadway, I have met a lot of actors and casts, and the majority of them very cordial. Hello, hi, how are you? Keep it moving, right? Very. Dog Afternoon was an exception. People were so nice. The cast was so nice. Jessica was the biggest sweetheart. Maybe I'm giving her false credit here regarding this, but I want to say she was the one who did karaoke. She kind of set up karaoke. We had karaoke on the matinee days before the show started, before like we opened up, and we would all sing together, and it was super sweet. It was so nice. Like I had a lot of fun doing that. And Michael, Mr. Butterman, he was a great guy. Well, is a great guy. He's still around, but he was great to us. He was great to the front of house. He would have dinners and in between shows, like on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and he would talk to us about how to further our acting careers and things of that sort. And it was really nice. And I just want to say thank you to both of you, to the entire cast, honestly. I don't even know if you're watching this. Probably not, but... And then Spencer, my man Spencer. I can't leave out Spencer. So one day, I worked Accessible Aisle. You probably know that. So I work with the people who have mobility issues, trouble getting upstairs. And I was helping this lady who was having trouble, and I helped her wherever she needs to go. She was meeting somebody in the cast, so I offered to just help her up, just so she can get to where she was going safely. After helping her for a long time, I found out later on that she was Spencer Garrett's mom. She was the original Wendy in Peter Pan on Broadway. And she was just so sweet. Just like an adorable human being, you know? So Dog Day Afternoon was great. It was so cool. Paula is awesome. I'm trying to get her to go skydiving. Her and Lewis, let's see what happens here. But yeah, so that was opening night of Dog Day and closing night of Dog Day. Juneteenth, right? I am busy, and I get a call from my neighbor across the street. I'm like, what the hell? He's calling. It's like 12 o'clock, right? And who calls at 12 o'clock, right? Hello, what's up? Yo, a drunk driver just hit your sister's car. They're trying to leave. Get out here quick. What the fuck? So I go out there and I'm like, what the fuck? Right? I go out. He's standing there. Their car is fucked up. Their whole front left area. I'm not a car guy. The front left area is fucked up. Their tire is sideways. Like the car is facing this way and their tire is that way. Right? They tried to get in it like twice to like drive off and it didn't work. We called the cops, right? Because to file a report and everything. We called the cops they called the cops before I got there. The cops did not show up until like after 1 a.m. It took like 2 hours, right? And at one point, he started getting aggressive. He, so, wait, let me back up a little bit. All right. So he walks away. He leaves. I'm gonna be back. I live close by. I'm gonna be back. All right. Leaving the scene of a crime is a crime in itself, but whatever, right? He leaves, comes back with a tow truck, right? Tow truck goes to pick up the car. The car's totaled, right? Probably. It's really fucked up. So the car's totaled. The car's messed up. The tow truck driver talks to somebody and basically explained like, hey, listen, he got into an accident. He was drunk. I'm not a cop. I didn't breathalyze the guy, but you can tell he was fucked up. So they say, you know, like he was drinking. So the tow truck driver's like, I want no parts of that, because if I help you leave, it's on me, you know. So he was like, nah, I'm good. The drunk driver, excuse me, then confronts us and says that we know the tow truck driver that he came with. Mind you, we didn't call nobody. He got this dude on his own and pulled over to him, right? Tow truck driver didn't want it, so he's like, I'm leaving. The guy's talking to him. As the tow truck driver goes to drive away, the dude smacks him. Stops. They get out, start fighting a little bit. Tow truck driver goes in the back, grabs something, and starts hitting the dude with it. They're fighting crazy, right? The cops showed up like 1 a.m., like past 1 a.m. Like it took over 2 hours for the cops to come, right? And at one point he was talking about he's gonna get the pole, he's gonna come, and somebody else was like, oh, I'm gonna come back with my peoples. So like the situation is getting out of hand, right? And we let them know that. We called the cops, and I remember there's one point on the phone, and like he was right there, so he wanted to be like, hello, police, you know. So we're just like, all right, let's hold it down while he's in our faces, right? Hangs up. Call back immediately. Hang up. 911, mind you. Calling, saying like you hear the guy, because I got him on like speaker. So like you hear the guy, and it's like nothing. Hung up on us, which is fucking crazy. Like, what's the point of 911 if you can't call and be quiet and them help you? You gotta, hello? Yes, 911. Yeah, we have a problem. Please come. And we got to that point, and it still took 2 hours. So, get a gun. I don't know, because you can't rely on the cops to protect you. And if somebody else has a gun, what the fuck you gonna do? I'm sorry, I fight. I'm a professional MMA fighter, and I'm not doing nothing against a gun. If you are more than like 3 or 4 feet away, I'm fucked. Like, that's it. If you got like decent aim, you know? Anyway, so that was that. June 27th, so just about a week later, Rhode Island. I went to Rhode Island. My bucket list item, just in case you don't know, I'll explain it again. Don't worry, I'll talk about it again. So it's called American Superhero, right? So I think personally, fighting, like doing any sort of martial arts, and then parachuting, skydiving, base jumping, paragliding, sailing, whatever the case may be, some sort of like parachute type device. If you do those two things, that's about the closest you can get to being a superhero, because you're fighting and flying, right? Like superheroes. So I want to do every state. I want to parachute and train martial arts in every state and the territories, because I have like a little book. Hold on, I'll show you my book. I'm like a nerd. It's funny because I feel like I'm usually like a cool kind of guy, like pretty cool. But for like my quarters, I get kind of nerdy. So this is my book, right? So, you know, the quarter map and all the quarters that I have inside are the ones I've done. So Idaho, Colorado, I do fucking Texas. Then we got some over here. We got that one. Right? Maybe I'll go through this in like a separate video and just talk about all the places I've done. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Anyway, so American Superhero, that's one of my goals. I went to Rhode Island to try to complete that goal. Complete, one of the goals, do one of the states. So I remember putting it on Facebook, like, hey, anybody know in Rhode Island? Like, I'm trying to skydive out there. My friend hits me up and says, hey, if you're trying to do a fun jump, I'm your only way. So we start talking. He tells me about this, like, express car service. I'm not gonna say the name. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not gonna say the name. If you wanna know, you can ask me that. But takes you. They picked me up at my house, right? Like with my address, at my house at like 5 in the morning, like early as fuck. It is early as fuck, but it's fine. Took me to Rhode Island. It's like a 3-hour drive. It was in a Sprint van. With like 8 other people probably for like $60. That's a good price, because $60 takes you from the Bronx to Manhattan. So to go from New York to Rhode Island with $60 is solid. So I plan to have, I did a tournament at New Breed. I did gi and no gi. And this tournament was different because they had no gi first and then gi, which was perfect. Because instead of like taking stuff off, you're putting stuff on. So it seems like you're getting more ready. And then a lot of people like no gi and don't like gi at all. So they'll do no gi and then leave. So after no gi was done, so many people left. It was so much emptier. The matches were going so much faster as opposed to everyone waiting for no gi. Because if you're waiting for no gi, it's like, oh, might as well do gi anyway. But if you only want to do no gi, like, leave gi, forget it. I'm out, I'm leaving, I'm going home, right? So that was cool. I love how they did that, and more tournaments, jiu-jitsu tournaments should implement that. Anyway, so I do the tournament, no gi first. I lost my first match. Yeah, I lost my first match on points. That shit was crazy. I was getting, like, I was gonna say fucked up, but like not really fucked up, because like there was one part he like triangled my head and he was like pulling my head back. I remember I was like seeing stars, and then he like almost got me in the leg lock, which also now that we're here, like kind of like fucked up my leg a little bit. Like my right knee is not fully recovered yet, and it's been about 2 months, a little less than 2 months. Anyway, so I lose the first match, and at the end of the first match, I'm starting to get up. So if it was like sub only, I think I would have won that. But so I did that first one, I lost the first one, and then I won the second two. And then in gi, I did a match. I lost against a guy, Treya. And we did 3 matches, right? We did 3 matches. We just went again and again. Like he won the first match, and then I won the last 2. So I got gold in gi. So that was cool. It was fun. My leg was a little hurt, but it wasn't too bad. And then I leave the tournament, and I go straight to go skydiving. I'm like, let's go now. So, I just go skydive Boston. I'm sorry, I like forgot the name for a second, and I didn't want to shout out a random drop zone. So I'm saying skydive Boston, but it is in Rhode Island, and yeah, if I'm wrong, sorry. I apologize. Sorry, Brett. So I go there, and it's pretty sunny. There's a couple clouds in the sky, but nothing crazy. Nothing wild at all. Like a couple clouds in the sky, but it was 85% blue, right? I'm sitting there. There's some tandems there, so some people who are jumping for making their first skydives, they were there and they were waiting. And they're like, oh, we're on a hold. So the company was like, we're on a hold, so like we're not gonna jump yet. We'll let you know, right? So I'm talking to these tandems, trying to make them feel comfortable, just having a conversation with them. And they were saying like, hey, what's the possibility of us jumping? And I was like, it looks great outside. Like, I'm gonna say like a 70%. Like it looks awesome. Like the wind hold is probably just some really temporary, and then we're good, right? So we're waiting. And it's getting a little windier as we're waiting. It's getting a little darker. And it's getting both. And like the bad weather's just coming in. And it comes in. And then the pilot says, after like it starts raining, and then they shut down operations completely. They're like, all right, we're done. We're not jumping today. And I'm like, right? And well, I guess like right before that, the pilot goes like, can I just take him? Like, take him to go? And he's like, I don't want to make that choice. If you want to do that, like, it's not my call to make. So ultimately they decided against it just because, no one was like really sure on it. And then the pilot told me, he's like, hey, if I knew you were a fun jumper, so if I knew you were a licensed skydiver, we would have jumped 30 minutes earlier. We would have just went. And fuck, that bothered me because I just want to do the one jump. That's all I needed. Now I need to go to fuck ass Rhode Island again. I'm sorry, Rhode Island. You had nothing for me. I was like looking up stuff to do. Like there wasn't much. But now I need to go back just to go do one skydive. I already paid for it. I need to do one skydive in Rhode Island. So yeah, I didn't get to do it. I ended up having to go back. I also, funny enough, I had the plan originally was to go there Saturday and Sunday. I was gonna go do the tournament Saturday, hang out Saturday night, like just chill, you know, maybe go to like a local bar or something. I don't know. And then Sunday was gonna be skydiving day, and I was gonna go home Sunday. Plans changed. I ended up just planning just for Saturday, going to do a tournament, and then going to jump, and then going home that night. I didn't readjust my bus, so I had my bus for Sunday. I'm waiting, and I'm like, what the like, what's going on? Why is my bus not coming? And then I go to check. I go to like throw the, you know, customer support, hello, and my bus was for the next day. So now I needed to find out how I was gonna stay in Rhode Island for a day. Like I ain't planning it, you know. Now I need to find a hotel. I need to get a hotel and stay there, and yeah. So Rhode Island was an experience. I'm not mad at it, but I do need to go back now. Right? July 14th, Dog Day closing. Dog Day closing was it was great. It was cool. It was very low key. It was open bar. Finished at like 12. I don't think I'm alcoholic, but I felt like it wasn't enough. Like I was like, I had like 2 drinks. Like I want to open bar. Like anyway, so it was okay. It was just fine, I guess. It was kind of like sad, but it was like very limited run, and people were kind of living their lives, so it wasn't like a normal closing night, I guess. But it was okay. July 25th. I went to PA. I went to Pennsylvania to do my American Superhero. I did a seminar with Mike Padilla, you know. Anyway, so we did a seminar at Henzo Gracie, PA. That was great. It was really nice. They were really friendly. The instruction was great. I have nothing negative to say. I was this is gonna get kind of like specific. Those are for the people who like know about jiu-jitsu a little bit, or I'm gonna try to explain my best. So even if you don't know jiu-jitsu, you're gonna understand what I'm about to say. Anyway, so we're on the ground. He has a scarf hold, so he's like perpendicular to me, right? He's like kind of like leaning on me, right? I reach up, grab his arm behind his back, put his arm behind his back, and I'm pulling him down to get him in like a crucifix position, which means I have one of his arms with both of my arms, and then one of his arm with both of my legs, and he's free, so I could go to like choke him out, all that good stuff. So, excuse me again. So I do that, and he's trying to get out of it, and he leans back to try to sit up and get on top. And when he leans back, because I was so tight to him, he pulled me with him. So I went this way. And then when he went to get up, he got the fuck up into my face. And it was crazy because I think you can't even see it anymore. I had 3 stitches right here. Oh, you see right there. Yeah. So I had 3 stitches right there. And when I got headbutted like right above it. And then I started like bleeding a little bit. So once I got headbutted immediately, I was like, he goes, oh, no blood. I was like, all right, then keep going, right? We go, and after like a minute, 2 minutes, he goes, all right, there's blood now. So I get up, whatever, that's the end of the round. That's the end of the rolling. Fine. Then I go jump. I go skydive Philadelphia. I did 1 jump with Triple M, and it was great. I had fun. It was like a nice, super simple belly jump. We did a belly jump. We did like around the world, normal shit, and then we just kind of tracked off. Nothing crazy. But it was cool. So I got that quarter in. That quarter's inside the book, right? Pennsylvania. That was done. I went to the Netflix house, which was honestly like underwhelming. Like it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be this kind of big, hot place where you could go and experience all these different things, but it was not. It was in a mall. That threw me off. Like you go in and it has like a front, like it's a store by itself. And I wasn't like looking around. I was like, this big building, whatever. There's other shit here. But when I walked in, we walked through the whole thing, and then all of a sudden we're in the middle of a mall. I'm like, this is a mall thing. This is like the exit for the mall. Anyway, so that was okay. Nothing crazy special. Did axe throwing. Went to a pool. What else? Oh, So I also have this goal. I call it Ghostbusters, and basically what it is to visit 10 haunted places, real haunted places, not just like scare actors. Like I'm talking about like people died. You know what I mean? So because when I was younger, I guess pre 2016, damn, pre 2016, about a decade ago, I was scared of heights. I was afraid of heights. I had a deathly fear of heights, and then I got bought a Groupon for skydiving, so I was like, fuck it, guess I gotta do it, and I did it, and I loved it, and through that, jumping, I got over. That's how not scary heights are. I'm yawning. No, I'm just kidding. But I got over my fear of heights through skydiving, and that's it. I was good. After that, I remember once I went skydiving, I was like, all right, fine, I went skydiving, but I'm not trusting my life to a rubber band, aka I'm not going bungee jumping. And then I decided I was gonna go bungee jumping because that was my fear. So I went bungee jumping. I went to Canada. I took like a 12-hour bus ride to Canada. I jumped the Great Canadian Bungee. It was nice. It was cool. A little scary. It is not what you expect. I expected to jump, right, and be free fall, and then hit the bottom and like snap back. And it's not like that at all. You know what I mean? And that just goes to show you about preconceived notions about what things are going to be like, especially when you don't know what these things are. So I remember I jumped, and like halfway down, I started feeling tension. I started feeling it pull back on me. So I'm pulling back, and then by the time you hit the bottom, you're already going super slow. And you just kind of start bouncing. Right? So that was bungee jumping in Canada. And I was going somewhere with that, and I totally forgot. Oh, the Ghostbusters thing, right? Anyway, I'm just gonna go back, and then we'll see if I remember what the fuck I was saying. I'm sorry, but you know, this is what happens. I just be forgetting shit sometimes. So, oh yeah. So getting over my fears. Duh. So got over the fear of bungee jumping. After the fear of bungee jumping, I was like, all right, what else am I afraid of? Dolphins. I had a fear of dolphins for a long time. And you know what? Fuck. Fear of dolphins. Oh my god, so not scary. Anyway, so I know the fear of dolphins is kind of rational for someone who lives in the Bronx, because like dolphins aren't a big thing over here, you know? Not seeing many dolphins in the BX. But I was afraid nonetheless. They were just weird to me. So I tried to conquer that fear. I went to Florida, Discovery Cove, which was SeaWorld. So like I felt cheated. But and I swam with dolphins. I swim with dolphins. Dolphins are like 300 pounds. They could carry like 3 times their body weight. I now don't have an irrational fear of dolphins, but there's still some fear there. Like there's some little bit afraid there, but that's like normal. What? It's not you. It's me. Sorry, I'm yawning so much. But now I feel like dolphins. To me, dolphins are now like tigers. Like, you know, they could kill you. Like, it's not like an irrational fear. It's not like, oh my god, tigers, wow. Like, you know, like bats or birds. You know, some people are afraid of those kinds of things. But yeah, so it's not like an irrational fear anymore, but I definitely still fear dolphins a little bit. So that was going through my fears. So once I went through those fears, I was like, no, am I afraid of anything? So I wanted to know, like, do I have any fear left? So I figured, what's still scary? What's scary for somebody who's done a bunch of stuff? What the hell? Scary is doing a podcast and then yawning like 8 times while I'm doing the podcast. No, but so I wanted to see what was afraid, like what made me afraid. So I figured doing haunted things that were supernatural, things that, you know, might like jump out in the dark, you know, that kind of stuff. So when I went to PA, circling back around, when I went to PA, I went to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, which is it's in the center of the city. So you go there and it's a big park. It's a park. And I'm sorry. I legit apologize. I'm sorry I'm yawning so much, but oh well. So go to this park, and this park is dark and it's quiet. And it's in the middle of the city, like you have to drive through city to get there. So it's like pretty quiet. I go there, and I remember I'm at the tomb, and I'm kind of waiting there, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm trying to see. I want to experience something that's going to scare me, give me a little fright, give me a little feeling. And I remember just standing there trying to feel those feelings. And then this group of like teenagers passed by. And I remember I'm like, damn, like what I was looking for, something scary, something like a guy lurking by, like some weird shit. I realized that I was that guy, like, cause I was trying to experience something. Other people viewed it as like, look at that guy just standing there. Like, that's probably scary, weird. Oh my God. You know, with this whole podcasting thing, I'll probably get better and not yawn as much. Maybe I'll wear a shirt, talk to other people. I don't know. I'm gonna get better. This is just the beginning. Stop yawning. Yawning is a bit. I'm gonna write that down. Don't yawn. I don't know what to do to stop yawning, but anyway, moving on. We're almost there. August 1st. Here we are in this month. August 1st. Harry Potter. I started working Harry Potter on Broadway, and it was great. It was nice. I can't say I really told the show in its entirety, but working there is nice. I worked at F&B, so food and beverage, and I'm usually an usher at the Wilson, so working. What the fuck? I didn't yawn again. I don't know. I gotta mean something. Anyway, so I worked at Harry Potter, and it was nice. I usually work at ushering, but I was food and beverage, so that was nice. That was a nice little change up in things, a nice little switch up in how everything went. And yeah, it was cool. Like, I don't have much to say about it. Like, when you start, they go, what house do you belong to? Take a guess what house I belong to. I belong to that house. Anyway, so everyone's really nice there. Yeah, so that's enough about Harry Potter. And then here we are, Friday. Well, today's Sunday, but Friday. I'm about to yawn again. Don't worry, that's probably the last one, because I'm almost done explaining my day, my last year. Friday, August 14th, Paranormal on Broadway, Paranormal Activity on Broadway opened up at the August Wilson Theater. And it's great. It's a good show. It was scary. Like, there were some parts I was legit like, oh, what the fuck? That was scary. And I love horror. But it's legit scary. So I think that was Paranormal Activities right there. So yeah, it's great. I'm looking forward to working it. I'm looking forward to seeing what things are gonna be like once this starts. I work at Golden Corral. I usually have Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday as my availability, but I'm starting a regular trial, Paranormal Activity, so I'm just working Golden Corral on Monday because I'm working the theater Tuesday through Sunday. So I'm legit gonna be working every day, and things are just gonna change so much in the next, like, say month and a half, 2 months, or 2.5 months. By the end of, like, by Halloween night, I think my life is gonna be very different. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed learning about my life and watching me yawn so much. I'm gonna get better, and maybe I'll bring some guests in, and maybe my life will be more interesting. Anyway, thank you very much. And this concludes episode 3 of Squeakin' with Squishy. Bye. Love you.